Wow. uh, okay, that's lovely. I love podiums. Let me hide. um, it's such an honor to be the first recipient of this award. I want to thank Andrew and Chantel for nominating me and for the support that each of them has given me over the years here. As all those of you out there who also do this crazy job know, it's only possible to do it well as part of a community. I was very lucky in my first year as an advisor to be placed in a classroom between Joe Battaglia and Charlie Adler's advisories. Lucky, you know. That year was possibly the most challenging of my life. 4 years as an English teacher in New York City had not prepared me for the experience of having the same group of ninth graders in a tiny room all day, every day. On my first day with them, I think I used up the material I'd planned for the day by lunchtime. I really missed the 40-minute period in those first months at the Met. Thankfully, Joe and Charlie were there for me at the beginning and end of every day. I'm not usually a crier, but they saw a lot of my tears that year. Without their guidance, help, and much-needed jokes, I don't think I would have made it. Thank you both for helping convince me that I could do this job. That first year was also hard for me because the events of 9/11 happened in my first few weeks of my advisory. I could see the towers from my classroom windows in New York. So as I watched the events of that day unfolding on the TV in my Providence advisory room, I was torn between my own emotional response to the events, my overwhelming concern for the students I had just left behind in New York, and an effort to help my new students in Providence process what was happening in real time in front of us. That day was truly surreal. I heard from my former students in New York that no teachers at school talked about what was going on. Although they could literally watch the events through their classroom windows, and many had family members directly affected, their traditional school had no system in place to help students process what was happening. How glad I was to be at the Met, where there was no question about what would happen. The televisions and computers turned on, whatever had been planned for those days stopped, and we just sat around the advisory table watching, talking, crying, and being human together. The best work that I've done at the Met has come out of conversations and collaborations with others. We're blessed to work at a school with such an intelligent, passionate, and committed staff. After teaching in New York, where my classroom really did feel like an island, it has been rewarding to work in a school where collaboration is encouraged. My work has been especially enriched through conversations and planning with Michelle Cox and Ben Castleman. I've also been lucky to work with a series of inspiring principals, Jill Holloway, Nancy Diaz-Bain, Carlos Moreno, and Chantel Wiley. My students and I owe a great deal of thanks to each of you. When people hear that I'm entering my 13th year as an advisor, they generally ask the same question: why? To me, the answer is obvious. There's no other job I'd rather be doing. In my gloomiest moments, usually in March of each year when winter won't end, there's no vacation, and students are especially grumpy, I inevitably decide it's time to change careers. However, I quickly come to my senses. What other job would allow me to do something different every day? To spend time each week in the community learning about other people's jobs and watching my students do real work that excites them. To develop deep connections with students and their families over 4 years. To be just as challenged by and interested in my work at the beginning of my 13th year as I was at the beginning of my first. To be part of a bigger movement to change education for students across the country and the world. For Big Picture to make far-reaching changes in education, we need advisors in our classrooms who are intelligent and hardworking, and who are willing to struggle every day to be true to the big picture philosophy while ensuring that each of our students is getting the best education we're capable of providing for them. It's not easy work, but I'm appreciative that working in a big picture school gives me the chance to do the work I love in my classroom every day, while also having an impact on the big picture in both its lower and uppercase senses. Carlos asked me to share some advice for new advisors, so I'll close today with my top 3 suggestions, but without any promise that I've managed to follow my own advice. First, remember that you're a human being, and this job is not a realistic one. You will drop balls constantly. The best you can do is try to be thoughtful about which balls you drop when. Second, enjoy your students, and remember that you have more time with them than traditional teachers. This means that you don't have to get everything done today. It's also important to make time to have fun with them. Learning how to have healthy fun and how to build strong, respectful relationships with their peers and adults is more important than just about anything else you can teach them. Finally, ask for and accept help. Our school culture encourages people to help one another. Take advantage of it. There are many ways I still hope to improve as an advisor. I accept this award not as a celebration of the outcomes of my work or even the quality of my advising, but as recognition of how hard I work to try to do the advisor job a little better every day than I did the day before. And more importantly, I accept it on behalf of every advisor in our Big Picture Network who's doing the same. Thank you all.